Okay, I'm going to now teach you how we are going to read this novel. It may seem daunting, but it isn't, I promise. Let me show you how each section of the reading segment will take place. Since you have already watched the film, you know the story, you know the language, you know how people speak, and you know the plot. So when you go to each section of the study materials, you will find chapter summaries. This tells you in plain English what happens in each chapter of that section. Now you go to the book that you downloaded and you look over chapters 1 through 7. Let's do that together. Remember that at the beginning of this unit, you downloaded one of these versions, or you checked out the book from the library, or you purchased a book, or whatever it was that you did to obtain a copy of this book. Now, however you have opened the book and downloaded it, you will use that to read over the first 7 chapters. What do I mean by read over? Let's look together. I downloaded the version that goes across the page because when I am looking over and reading over content, sometimes I like to just go this way. Some of you may be going, have uploaded it in any number of ways, hard copy, whatever you're doing. All right, so let's click on chapter 1. I've seen the movie and I've read the summary, so I know what is happening in this chapter. So as I go through, I'm going to look over the content and I'm going to power read because I'm getting a feel for the flow of the narrative and I'm picking up on the descriptive things and I'm going through this chapter. It isn't going to take me that long because I know what is happening. And so I'm going to look over this dialogue, I'm going to look over the contents, and I'm going to read like this. It's not that I'm skimming, it's that I am overviewing and I'm reading, power reading, because I'm not intimidated by this language because I already know what's happening. So that's what I mean when I say power read. Now, depending on the amount of time that you have in your schedule, that is how detailed your reading will be. But here's what's going to happen as you go through the novel. Eventually, for some people it takes a little bit longer than others, for some they catch on right away, you'll start to get into that rhythm where you will pick up Dickens' writing rhythm. Everything is very melodic, it's very well written, and as you go through, you will pick up on that. Now, I realize that reading every single word, having already read the summary, having already read and watched the film, is an activity that is done in conjunction with those activities, not as a replacement for. But I want you to see the language. I want you to get used to reading classic literature without feeling confused. You already know what's happening. Now, after you've completed that section, then you're going to go to the discussion board and you're going to follow that information. There are only 4 discussion boards for this entire novel. So let's take a look at the first one. Because this is a cyber cafe submission in the discussion boards, when you click on the assignment, you'll be taken straight away to your wonderful group of people. Each one of the 4 boards contains information. I know, more to read, but you'll thank me for this. So, you're going to read this information and then answer the question that's at the bottom. You're going to answer the question in each one of the 4 boards honestly. You're going to write a minimum of 10 posts. Your post plus 8 responses. All right, I changed it. I realized that you may have fewer members in your group, so a minimum of 9 to 10 posts, yours plus 8 to 9 responses, because you may respond to somebody more than once. Okay, so here is a definition of the themes of Great Expectations. And the theme is affection, loyalty, and conscience are more important than social advancement, wealth, and class. It's right there in this statement. You think, oh my gosh, big old novel. How's that the theme? Well, that's the way it is. The theme is actually a sentence long for everything you read. Now, at the bottom, after you've read through this, at the bottom is the question. And the question for the first discussion board is here. And you will click Reply, and you will answer the question based on the reading, the watching of the film, when you consider in context the reality of your personal life, your personal views, and you're going to have a discussion with your cyber cafe group about this question. Each section of the novel will go this way. You'll want to make sure on the discussion boards that you check those due dates so that you make sure you don't leave your fellow classmates hanging in the balance. So you want to keep up with the readings, you want to keep up with the discussion boards, and you want to make sure that you are in integrity. And that means that what I'm asking you to do is not outside the realm of the Carnegie unit expectations for time spent in the course. It's not outside the realm of what an advanced, brilliant English student would be able to do. So stay with me. You're going to enjoy this, but follow these directions when it comes to reading the novel and completing the discussion boards. That concludes this tutorial.